So over the years we have received a load of different versions of Tilted Towers, so today we're going to rank every single version of these in a tier list from best to worst, and we're going to get straight into it here with the one from Chapter 2, so this is of course Boney Burbs. This was a pretty cool location. This was when Tilted returned, and there was quite a lot of hype with it returning, but obviously it was a very different version of Tilted Towers, definitely not the same as the original one. Some of the buildings were different, obviously the theme of the season was entirely different, and obviously this did match with the theme or the primal stuff, so it was a pretty cool version of Tilted. Compared to some of the others, it wasn't really my favourite, but I'm still going to put it into B tier there. Still a pretty good location. But next up we have of course got Salty Towers, again from Chapter 2, and this was when you could actually sand tunnel, so you could go into the sand, tunnel around the map, and obviously jump out the sand, so that was a pretty cool way of actually getting around this version of Tilted. Pretty cool mobility feature there. In terms of this version of Tilted, obviously it had pretty much all of the exact same buildings from the original Tilted. It had the Big Ben clock tower, it had all the other main buildings as well, so it was a very good location, a lot of good loot. It was placed well in the map as well, a lot of action, so yeah, it was a good location. But compared to Boney Burbs, in terms of which one I prefer, I actually think I do prefer Boney Burbs a little bit more. It was a bit more unique, a bit more different, and this version, Salty Towers, it was good, but definitely not my favourite one, so I'll put that into C tier there. Now here we have got Gotham City. Now this one was pretty insane, obviously released towards the end of Chapter 1, and this was with the Batman collab. We actually had the Batman grappler, so that was a great way to actually get around this location. And yeah, this place was just insane. Obviously it had the huge buildings representing Gotham City, and of course it did have a few buildings from the original Tilted as well, but the main theme of this was the Batman theme, and this one was really cool. It was great to see Tilted Towers, but with a little bit of a twist, and with this Batman collaboration. Really like this location, probably one of my favourite versions actually, so definitely going in S tier there for me. Very good one. And speaking of my favourite versions, Neo Tilted was another very good one in my opinion. Really good location. Obviously we've got something a little bit similar this season with the Neo Tokyo sort of theme, but this Tilted Towers was very good. Pretty much very similar to the Mega City location that we have now. Obviously it's not Tilted Towers, but both very similar locations in terms of big landmarks, and yeah, I really like both of them. But Neo Tilted, great location. Obviously it had the turbines as well, so you could actually get around the location a lot easier, so you didn't have to run around to the other side of the location, so that was a good way to get around them, similar to how we've got the actual rail grinds with the Mega City location. But yeah, Neo Tilted, great location. Definitely going in S tier for me. And here we've actually got the Tilted Town location. Now this was probably one of the most unique locations we've ever had in the game, so this was obviously the cowboy themed version of Tilted Towers, but what made this so unique was you couldn't actually build in this location, so it's similar to Zero Build, but it was actually just in this location specifically, so just like a normal game you could build everywhere, but as soon as you entered this location you weren't allowed to build, so it made it a very interesting location to actually land at. And I actually really enjoyed landing here, obviously towards the end of Chapter 1 again, and just because of how unique this location is, I think I'm going to put it into A tier there. Not quite S tier for me, I think I definitely preferred the original Tilted and Gotham City. This one, a very underrated location for me, great version of Tilted, and it's got to go in A tier. And speaking of Tilted, the original Tilted Towers of course, definitely going in S tier there, easy decision. One of the best locations in the entire game's history. Also we've had so many remakes of it from this list, but the original Tilted Towers, definitely one of the best versions and one of the most iconic locations as well. Don't really need to say too much on this, everyone knows how good Tilted Towers is. But when the meteor actually hit Tilted, we did receive a new version of it with the volcano and the lava. So this was pretty much just Tilted Towers destroyed, so it was a very unique location again, but in terms of actual loot and the location itself, it was cool obviously after the live event to see the impact it had, but it definitely wasn't the best version of Tilted, so for me, I could put it in D tier, but I think overall, it still wasn't a terrible location, so I'll put it into C tier there, and that is my tier list complete. So we've had so many good versions of Tilted, but for me, my three favourites have got to be Gotham, Neo, and the original Tilted. It's a difficult decision in terms of which one my favourite is if I had to choose one. I think I'd probably go the original Tilted, but there's been so many good versions that it's really difficult to choose. But make sure to comment down below your favourite version of Tilted Towers, and if you did enjoy the video, then don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more. And there's a load more videos on screen here, make sure to click another one to keep on watching, and I'll see you over there.